College Gym Vids fan, going live on YouTube. This is another full episode video. It's a full episode of Rescue 911. Now I gotta go to Tiki Live. That's where I get the Rescue 911 recorded on the DVR. Go to DVR.
Intify Live videos available to watch.
I have like 79 videos on here. Okay, it's Rescue 911, 13-year-old Heimlich, and Civil War.
Loading video, please wait. In options, load. Audio dial.
Just trying to get this thing off.
Okay. Press left or right on the directional pad to change the setting.
Just trying to get rid of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
As parents, we'd like to think that our children know what to do in an emergency, but we often don't find out if they do until it's too late. On the night of February 8th, 1991, down in California, 13-year-old Kenny Castillo was put to just such a test.
We were at the door waiting to be back because my dad had to go to Costa Rica. When he left, we came in the kitchen. I got some crackers and got some ketchup and mustard and mixed it together. It was like a dip for the crackers.
While his parents went to the airport, Kenny was left to babysit his sister, Jacqueline, and their 5-year-old cousin from Costa Rica, Pamela.
Grandma wanted some cereal. And then after that, they showed the commercial on cornflakes, and she started talking. She started saying that was the cereal she was eating.
We just kept going, okay, you could stop with the drugs. Next time we knew it, she couldn't talk.
And she couldn't breathe anymore.
Fire department. What's your address? Okay, is there an adult there? Is there an adult there? Okay, let me talk to your brother then. Hey, okay, listen to me. How old is the guy that's choking? 5?
911 dispatcher Lee Lindquist knew he would need Kenny's help to try and save the little girl's life.
First thing, you have to really calm them down. If you can, try and ask them their name, because you have to remember, they're hysterical. Someone there is really sick, possibly dying.
Among the firefighters who responded was Captain Forrest Starling.
Nothing is more frightening than not being able to breathe. If you're not breathing, you're dying. That's a very, very fine line. You're talking about 4 to 6 minutes maximum.
Yeah, she's going so close, but she can't breathe. Go get her right now. Bring her to you. Okay, she's right here. Okay, have her back against your chest. You understand? Yeah. Okay, put your arms around her waist. Okay. Okay. You feel her ribs right up there? Yeah. Okay, we're close together. Okay, go down. A fifth length to go down. All right? Yeah. Okay, now squeeze. Push in real hard. Okay. With both hands. Try to force it out. Do it real quick. Sorry. What's that? Okay, now. Okay, did you do it? Yeah. Wait, let me tell her she can breathe. She can't breathe.
I kept doing it and doing it, but nothing happened. I was really scared. I thought she was gonna die.
He almost started to cry, but then he said, "I'm not gonna cry. I'm a man. I shouldn't cry."
Okay, well, people on the way. I'm gonna stand in line with you until they get there, okay? Okay, well, keep doing it, all right?
I did it another, like 3 more times, about 3 or 4 more times, and then she started crying and calling her mom.
She's getting better now? She can breathe? Yeah. Okay. See if she can talk. See if you can talk to her.
So I just calmed him down and I told him everything was okay. And by that time, the police showed up.
Tell me what's going on here.
Rescue workers at the scene questioned Kenny about what had happened.
Kenny explained to us that he had performed the heimlich procedure a number of times and finally did break loose of the object that had lodged in her throat. This young man did an exemplary job in being able to take care of the situation that was critical.
5-year-old Pamela was examined at the hospital and released the same evening. Without the work of Dispatcher Lindquist and Kenny, she would not have survived.
I think it's time we started promoting the good things that are done every day in society. And these two gentlemen, they were given life back. They weren't taking it away, they were given one back.
Kenny was recently invited to join a youth leadership group run by his new friend, Lee Lindquist.
He was scared and he knew something needed to be done. So he handled it really well. I'm real proud of him. I'm real proud of him.
I had no idea that Kenny knew how to do something like that. It just made me feel so good. I'm very proud of him. Kenny saved my life.
I think as she grows and matures and learns about how close she came to death, that her love for this young man that went through an ordeal with her will grow. But she was doing fine. And that's the plus at the end of the story.
Next, Bert's my best buddy. We've been through a lot together. And he just kept shaking my hand. I said, "You can't die. He just can't die."
I like this feature on the Tiki Live DVR, how you can fast forward through commercials. When I recorded Rescue 911 videos on the Justice Network, I couldn't do that. I think this is it.
But now,
They're looking at us.
they date.
No, I guess that's not it. Okay.
5 p.m. Central on Get TV.
In options, float. Press left.
Okay, I'm trying to get the description. Okay, good.
We were just coming down off the hill into an open field area. We made a sweep forward on the field, engaged the Yankees, then started falling from 200 yards away. Captain Bert Huffman called for a flanking movement. Couldn't hold them back, just too many of them. We lost. We were defeated. It was May 26th of 1990 in Felton, California. The battle was a reenactment staged by the National Civil War Association for Memorial Day weekend. As he usually does, Jim Mitchell was serving in the Confederate Army that day.
We were just finishing battle. Recall had been called. All the people that had been killed or wounded in the battle returned to life and rejoined their battalions.
What do you think?
Sergeant Jim North and I met at the edge of the battlefield and commented on how well the battle had gone. Been a good show, good fight. We turned and started walking over toward our commander, Captain Bert Huffman.
Pretty good battle. Yeah. Well, I'm having a good show. It's been a long day. Look at Bert's down. I know he knows.
He was gasping for breath. Knowing he had heart attacks previously, I immediately feared for the worst, so I tilted his head back to try to help him breathe.
Before the battle started, he had mentioned that if anything happened to him out there and he went down, to get his nitroglycerin pills from his pocket.
Ready?
There was no heartbeat I could feel. He had stopped breathing at that point, so I immediately initiated CPR.
Bert's my best buddy, and we've gone through a lot together. And I just kept shaking my head. I said, he can't die. He just can't die.
Two medics showed up with a trauma kit and an ambu bag and began breathing for Bert while I continued compressions. It was difficult because Bert's a very large, barrel-chested man, and you have a lot of bone and muscle you have to compress before you'll actually compress the heart.
You getting any air through there?
Seemed to be having a great deal of trouble attempting to ventilate.
And they kept blowing, but it wasn't getting into his lungs. He started turning color.
They don't make him like Bert. He's everybody's friend, he's everybody's confidant, he's everybody's teacher. They just don't come any better.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I have your attention, please. Is there a doctor in the audience?
Bert's wife of 17 years, Dale, was also working in the reenactment that day.
One of Bert's friends ran up and grabbed me and said that he was down. I knew that Bert's heart was unstable. He's had previous heart attacks and he's had 2 bypass operations. But when I saw Bert, my heart just really sunk. I had seen him in real bad shape before, but I had not seen him this bad.
Dale had sent word to family friend Susan Jones, a registered nurse.
To get to Bert, I had to run against the crowd. At first, it seemed impossible. But knowing that Bert was on the other end, it was amazing how easy it was to get through.
Okay, great. You take that. How are we doing now?
With the CPR we were doing, his color should have been coming back, and it wasn't. You're doing your best, and it's not working, and this person's dying, and you're doing all you know how to do.
When we continue,
What was going through my mind was, this could be the end. I can't imagine what it'd be like not having Bert around.
anesthesiologist David Arick.
Audio guide enabled. Interfile light, press left or right on the directional pad to change the setting.
Okay, here we go. All right.
His color's not good. Check the airway.
The soft tissue and tongue was obstructing the lungs despite all kinds of neck, jaw, head maneuvers. He needed a vast life support equipment.
Now, sir, we have none of that. All we have is what what you got? Paramedics are supposed to be on the way.
It seemed like it was forever waiting for the ambulance to get there.
And I thought, this is it. They can't keep them going this long.
Within 12 minutes of Bert's collapse, a medic unit from the Mountain Volunteer Fire Department arrived, led by Captain Dave Newell.
What we got is a possible man down, possible heart attack.
To my surprise, we were met by two gentlemen on horseback that were dressed in Civil War garb. They basically said, follow us. And for about the last 250, 300 yards, we were led.
Hey guys, what you got?
When we first saw him, he had no pulse, he had no respiration. Basically, he was clinically dead.
Take those precautions. Do you have a relative here? Right here.
I turned to his wife, who was standing right there. She was telling me, you have to zap him, you have to zap him. It was very disheartening to me to turn to her and say, I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have the paddles. We're a volunteer department, and we couldn't afford them. That was a hard pill to swallow.
They needed advanced life support equipment, but that ambulance was still miles away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I could tell by the people working on him that he was getting in more and more serious condition. What was going through my mind was, this could be the end. After being married and being together for so long, I think the thing that I would miss the most would be his sense of humor and his orneriness.
1, 2, 3.
By the time the advanced life support unit arrived, Bert had been without a heartbeat for more than 20 minutes.
When we finally got to the patient, we hooked him up to the cardiac monitor.
1, 2, 3. CPR, please. We have a VFib on the monitor. Continue CPR, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear.
I remember them shocking because I remember him jumping from the ground. And then he didn't move.
We're still in a VFib. Go ahead and continue CPR. Everybody clear? Clear.
They hit him again. And he didn't move again. And then I started thinking, he's dead. He's dead.
Paramedics that attempted to put an airway in found it very difficult.
Finally, Dr. Eric Hockey got down and worked on him.
Okay. It's in. Okay, oxygen.
We were able to establish and maintain a good airway, finally.
Back. Color's better. Okay, sounds good. You're right.
3 or 4 minutes after we gave some medications, we started getting pulses. At that point, we knew that we needed to get the patient en route to the medical facility.
They had managed to regain a weak pulse, but were unsure how long they could keep it going.
Everybody was just really stunned. We thought he was dead. And as the ambulance drove away from the scene, uniformed people on both sides saluted.
There was no more civil war, no more battles, and there were no longer blue and gray.
Just remember standing off thinking, God, not Bert. Not Bert.
It's going, it's tight. We're getting clear.
Once I got him in the ambulance, I was really listening to the monitor in the back.
Okay, stand by. We're like right now, we're gonna wait.
And it sounded like they had lost him.
Okay, charge clear. Clear.
And that was just sheer panic for me at that point in time. It was like, why can't we be at this hospital already? How far is it? Why can't they move faster?
For the third time, Bert's heart was shocked into beating again. But the oxygen supply to his brain had been disrupted for so long, there was little hope he'd survive without severe brain damage. Dr. Raj Singh was the cardiologist on call at the Dominican hospital that day.
Our last blood pressure was 110 palpated.
At the point he arrived in the emergency room, he had a good blood pressure and a reasonable pulse rate, but he was completely comatose. I told Mrs. Huffman there was a strong possibility that if her husband survived this hospitalization, that he may never walk or talk again.
Okay, thank you. Susan and I went with Bert to the ICU unit.
Bert, it's Dale. Bert.
Dale and Susan are with you. Can you hear us? You're gonna make it, honey. We were talking to him and telling him he was in the hospital and that he was gonna make it. At the same time, I realized that he may not make it. But I knew it was real important that we keep talking to him at that point in time.
I'm gonna try something here.
Finally, Susan said to him, Bert, if you could hear me squeeze my hand. He did squeeze her hand.
That's a good sign.
And then she said, Dale's on the other side. If you can hear her squeeze her hand. Bert, it's Dale. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, honey? Squeeze my hand. He could hear us and move. And I thought, he's going to make it. I know he's going to make it.
To the surprise of almost everyone, Bert Hoffman has fully recovered. 1 year later, he's made changes in his lifestyle and continues to take medication, but he survived the toughest battle of his life.
I remember nothing about the time I dropped until about 6-7 days later when I was in the hospital and woke up. I'm lucky to be alive from what they've told me. Me and my wife have become closer together because we both live one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, because you never know what it's going to get.
Today, Bert's still involved in the Civil War Association. He's now on a cannon where he doesn't have to walk around or anything. And he still walks away with the biggest grin on his face every time he gets through.
How you doing, Patty? Brad?
It just makes me really happy to see him out there. It really does.
He is the exception and not the rule with heart attack cases. Especially being down for as long as he was. CPR saved his life. And all those people helping out that day helped keep him alive.
Hey, remember the last time you used that knife? Use it on him.
There he is, standing there talking and laughing, you think, what a hole there'd be if he hadn't survived.
That's pretty good friends, huh?
Being a firefighter, the greatest thing in my profession is to save a life. And
Okay, the credits are rolling
life to save is
on
saved,
Rescue
I'm
911, so this episode's almost over.
Oh, brother, you guys kill me, sir.
Okay, I'm going to delete the recording, 13-year-old Heimlich, Civil War. Yes, because I watched it. Hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube.